Okay, so we may be a little bit behind schedule here, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to PT Race TV. We're now live here tonight at Kansas Speedway here, and now it is time to present to you the iCON Sim Sports Cup Series at Kansas Speedway here in Kansas City, Kansas. Time to get down to the action, time to get down to business here. We look at our starting lineup. Derek Whitford will be in the 44, that 9 will be Lawrence Schnazi. With the 24 will be Aiden Doyle there with the 78 of Andrew Griesbaum. Then you'll have the 06 of Keith Whitford, and then the 81 of Jaden Hobb, the 01 of Edward Kane, and then 85 of David Shively. The 210 will be Brandon Sheffield, the 79 of Alan Wilson, the 68 of Victor Stank. The Brad Ward will be in the 87, our lone Canadian here tonight. Darrell Whitford as well in that hunt with Nick Brissy and all the others. We're going to the green. Maybe a little bit of a rush start, but we're getting off to run and we're ready to get to the action. Here we go. Again, apologies for the rough start here, guys. We kind of had a little bit of a trouble actually on our end getting YouTube to work for the moment. But thankfully we got it fixed up and done right now. So we're getting down to the action here off the start here through the chicanes down the back straightaway here. It is Andrew Griesbaum currently falling back behind just a little bit. It's the 81 of Jaden Hobb. Makes his way through the field here, makes his way down on the spot zone. Edward Kane right there with him though in the bottom lane, trying to stay in line, stay on shot, stay on target if he can. Down to the clutches of the corners of the zone they go here. Everyone looking for an opportunity to hit it big, hit it, strike it hard when they can. There's a lot of racing that will be presented here on the show. For the 115 laps here, obviously these guys are going to be trying to keep aim, trying to keep pace throughout the event, trying to keep themselves under control. Easier said than done, obviously, when it comes to the madness and the kind of wrecks you can see around here. Brendan Sheffield right now rocking the 96, not the 210 here. Obviously, that's kind of a little mismanaged there on the custom numbers end of the spectrum. Aiden Doyle on the number 24, a Mobile 1 machine coming up the clutches off the top end here. Keith Whitford doing much of the same here, looking for any opportunity to hit it big when he can. You can see the onboard camera here. But it is Derek Whitford right now, one of the playout drivers that is currently just moving the chains in and moving his speeds up and around the track here, having no troubles there whatsoever. That's something you're going to be really keeping a close eye on tonight, is these playout drivers in the top half, top packs here. They're going to be trying to bolster their momentum, trying to build up their runs as quick as they can, looking for any kind of opportunity to strike it hard and strike it well. But again, you know, will the track allow that? Will they allow it to really be kind of that racing mentality that we've seen all too well on the show before? It's extremely tough to get a grip of Kansas. It's extremely tough to really master the overall speed and dilemmas that is presented here with this kind of a package deal and this kind of a racing deal. Coming down through the runs here, still everyone in play and in time here. Not a whole lot of error down there, or a whole lot of issues to say the least. Seems like everyone's been pretty clean and relaxed here for the most part. I almost can guarantee you that that will change as we get later into the run. Obviously, when you want to get a little bit more under control, a little more relaxed, but you know as well as anything, when these guys smell blood in the water, they're going to go for it big and they're going to go for it broke when they can. For a good amount of reasons, obviously, but I think that one thing we are going to need to look out for is, again, just when will it become a little too much, a little too hard on themselves, because they know they have a lot at stake and have a lot going on for them, and they want to make sure they stay out of trouble. But really, where does trouble start? Well, generally it starts when you just have one driver that just thinks that they can master the other track better than the other, and then one thinks a little too far up their head and kind of a little too far in their minds, and that's when things just get a little too crazy for them. But thankfully, as we saw just a little while ago, Pedal to Metal Racing League certainly showed that they can do that and then some and keep themselves under control for the most part. And Shake and Bake Racing League is absolutely no different when it comes to that mindset. They are always about the same kind of mentality, same kind of racing abilities. They all want to do the same thing, which is just run their line, run their lace in, and hope for the best. And that's what you're getting right here with these folks. Fight him off, and now looks like currently everyone's kind of falling into that single file run here. Obviously, they're not wanting to get too rambunctious. They don't want to get a little too out of control here. They're, as you can tell, they obviously want to keep pace and maintain balance. So much that goes into these cars, so much that really hammers in with these drivers in their minds every time they come out on the track. There's just a lot that plays in, a lot that can really make or break their kind of days and kind of nights. The 9 of Lawrence Shaughnessy right now continuing to find his rhythm, find his line, trying to get up there to Brandon Sheffield. Being a little more conservative, more intact, more in line with the track. Obviously, I know why that is. Obviously, he's trying to keep himself with the grain of the asphalt, the concrete as well. Can be a bit troubling, get a little bit hard to, really maintain and stabilize when you get onto this kind of circuit and this kind of series. But same time, man, it just really shows and boils down to, what can anything else do but just really make it all or make or break it. Down on the inline zone here, the 78 of Andrew Griesbaum here, having a little bit of company coming up his way there with the 24 of Aiden Doyle. Aiden managing to keep himself in track and in line. You can see the tire starting to give up slightly, though, as Nick Barassi comes into the inside. I think Barassi found his way around the track a little bit more than I think he was than the other guys were kind of hoping for, and started to make some maneuvers here. Had a good line in, had a good spot up to charge up with, and he really found it there. Griesbaum, one of the playout drivers, trying to hang tight and hang in there. Man, being this close in the pack, this close into the runs here, man, it can get very intense, very crazy to really stabilize down and really stay out of trouble with, but that's kind of the beauty that comes running with the Cup Series. Everyone packed in a little bit from third on back right now. Look at this. This is a huge pack of drivers just for a fourth, on back. Lily just kind of packed in the middle of this one here. The top 5, top 10, man, they are just hammering in and having the same kind of mindset, which is pretty much let the car sink in and let them kind of run it off the track a little bit. I don't know, really. And that is the absolute smartest way to do it, because again, it can slow you down. The more the race leaders up front can just pretty much kind of pull away from you. That's kind of the issues you run when running in a pack track when you're on a mile and a half. Now again, you can get away with it if you have a little bit more power under the hood and a little more runoff later, but I can tell you right now, what these drivers are doing is not the same ordeal here as we take it to our drone cam. Pretty amazing we can get this thing to work up as high as we do and work as well as we did. 79 of Alan Wilson now moving in through the bottom corners into the runs here. Making his way into the end zone here. 3 wide, Slew coming off down the back straightaway into turn 3 here in the 87 of Brad Ward. Find himself kind of in the middle of the runoff, kind of found himself in the backpack of this attack. Trying to escape the oncoming assaults here these drivers present to him. He is seemingly almost in an innocuous spot. He does not want to be there at all, but he's having to deal with everything in between. So far, so good. Pretty clean for the most part here. Brad Ward now down to the bottom here. Lord Go 87 hammers the throttle in. Andrew Griesbaum trying to defend him off there. You can see him making his way around the track. And the Purina 78 seemingly almost in altitude and just being able to just muster some moves and muster some courage down there. An exhilarating race so far here from the Shake and Bake Racing League crew. We've had 2 great races here tonight, folks, that has really proven and shown what they can do and what they are capable of. But at the same time, man, it's been a wild, crazy night of action, crazy night of racing from every end of the spectrum. We saw earlier on that long-term haul, long-term run to the end of the finish there from the guys over there at Joe Sixpack Racing, and a tremendous finish to say the least. We saw the all-out carnage there and the battles that raged over at Richmond Raceway. Every driver for themselves there, to say the least, giving it quite a chance here. And now tonight we kind of take a little bit of a calm down, a little chill pill, if you will, and bring it to the land of Kansas Speedway, which not a track exactly you can just count off as a track that doesn't result results. Oh, I'll tell you one thing, this track can give you results in a heartbeat if you're not careful. We've seen some wild finishes here. We've seen some wild moments throughout this event, throughout this racing ordeal here at this track. Probably one of our craziest was basically the Fast and Fun Champion Power Equipment Cup Series Championship race they had here a while back there. A long-term strategy run there by the Man Beast William Mann Jr. ended up falling futile just by 1 lap. Matter of fact, it wasn't 1 lap, it was literally just 1 corner that ended up costing him his first ever win on Pete Series TV. He talked to me earlier today about that too and said, man, I'm just kind of hoping I get back out there and do it again. But you have the other guys here tonight. I just talked with Sheffield, and Sheffield, you know, his mindset was pretty simple and pretty obvious. He said point blank, I'm just hoping that when we get this car dialed up and figured out, we can somehow find a way to put all our eggs in the basket and put this one into the run we needed to. That was kind of what he was aiming towards, and that was really what he was looking for when he brought everything to town and when he brought it onto the track. And I can't say for certain that that was not really the pins and stripes of what he was going for, but I can certainly say that it was definitely the correct idea and plan, because right now it's putting good use to Derek Whitford and the number 44 machine. Meanwhile, back in the pack here, everyone now leading into a 3 wide salute onto the front straight away. Looks like that's Griesbaum, Ward, and Hop all involved there. Hop on the bottom, Jaden Hop there to be exact, the 81 and the 87 there. Brad Ward, our only Canadian tonight, trying to represent his fellow countrymen well. We've seen some of the country ladies down there of Canada rocking and supreming. Now tonight, the men come back out, and they will try to see if they can hold on the charge and hold on to the chatch here. Griesbaum trying to hold off the outside line there from Jaden Hop, but Hop, man, he is giving it everything she's got right at him. And again, I know it's early, but you know, as a driver, you never want to just let someone get too far ahead of you. You want to try to make them work a little bit. And sometimes the best way to do it is just kind of make them think about it and just kind of make them pace around a little bit and know that they're there. Coming off the clutches here, Keith Whitford here, the number 06. Kind of rock a little General Lee style on that bad boy, although it's definitely not the General Lee on the colors wise, I will say. The only thing that's made me think about that is because they got that pinstripe and little stripe on the top to the back there, but the only difference is the only main thing that's kind of giving me that vibe is that orange color. If it didn't have that stripe back there and you had a little certain flag up there, I think we'd be okay, but to call it the General Lee. But I think I'd probably also get myself in a little bit of trouble and a little hot water if I even mention that around here. It is 2021 after all. So, Brad Ward, though, he says, I really don't care how fast this guy can drive or how fast that Lee is. I'm going to make sure this Lee goes faster than anything. The Lordco 87 is leading in, mounting the charge up in 7th place here. Meanwhile, up front, we have a new leader crowned as Brandon Sheffield takes that one away there from Derek Whitford. We're going to go on board here with Shepard here. We're just going to give you guys an idea of really how to run this track in. You can see there's two lines to hit. You got top side, you got bottom side, and you got pretty much every run in between. And really what it's going to boil down to is how well can you handle your all-out throttle? Can you let it go wide open? You know, what is the main reaction to that? Is that the way to go for you and the crew, or do you want to do something else? That's really what everyone talks about. We even saw it earlier on in the NASCAR Kansas race here, where they were talking, where even Harvick had mentioned that he had a little time kind of keeping that thing from getting too tight and then too off pace. He couldn't full throttle it off like a lot of these guys were and just basically letting it wide open. Well, right now, I'll tell you one guy that's pretty much driving it wide open here, and that's the Shaughnessy, number 9. For Derek Whitford going up top here, while the 9 Lawrence Shaughnessy just continues to stay inbound, stay in line, side by side, battling it for the spot. The Speed 9, man, he is giving it everything and then some here, really showcasing some serious momentum and control under the track zone. Well, there is one little thing, though, that does kind of come off a little bit more than anything in Kansas, is that if you drive the outside line, you do run that risk of getting a little bit too close to that up top wall. And have gotten a little too close to the wall there for the 9. He manages to bring it back down, stay out of trouble, but that could have been worse for wear. The 79 of Alan Wilson right now making his way up there with the 78 of Andrew Griesbaum. Griesbaum trying to keep a Purina 78 ahead, while the 81 of Jaden Hopp looks to master each corner up. Quite a few Fords in here tonight as well. There was still some Chevrolets represented, and then one Toyota Camry. So, you know, I talked earlier about that next-gen Cup car and how much of a difference I felt that the actual body frame and body style can make a difference on the track and give himself a little bit of an opening there. And I said earlier on, I felt like the Fords may have a slight advantage here on the longer tracks, longer distances, because that aerodynamics of the car. Meanwhile, you know, the Chevrolets, they are the most winning car in all of the series that ran. They are actually the #1 brand and the #1 manufacturer with the most victories. Which is not hard to believe, but it certainly is something. Lining it back up now, Brandon Sheffield. Let's just say he's found himself a little home out there. I think he might have transitioned from Kansas City, Kansas to Kansas City, Missouri, because he's that far ahead of the field right now. About a second and a half ahead of Derek Whitford and Lawrence Shinesty. Meanwhile, Shinesty and them having a little bit of company coming up there. Here comes that number 10 of Edward Kane. He intervenes here tonight, here as well as Nick Barassi there right behind him. The Edward Kane, number 10 Ford Mustang, trying to keep ahead there of the Civil Tech Ford of the 66, Nick Barassi. Barassi right now trying to maybe find a little extra charge, a little extra boost. He saw a little bit of go, but again with lap traffic being right in that spot. A little bit of problems down there. We got major problems here. We got a big wreck down there in the corner zone. Aiden Doyle and a few others involved in this one. Big wreck though. Holy smokes. Not sure what exactly transpired down there. We'll go to the PTM Instant Replay and see about this one. Looked like there might have been a little bit of a cause for concern down around there. Oh, everybody was slowing down badly here. Looks like Aiden Doyle was trying to go into pit road, and everybody else just kind of found themselves in a bad spot. You can see Aiden, he just jumped right out of pit road. He's like, I'm not going down there. Jaden Hopp was calling for a pit road exit, but unfortunately, the other drivers may not have got him on the same track. Take a look at it from this angle here. You can see the 06. Oh, he just did not time it right, unfortunately. Smacking right into the back of the 81. That was a unfortunate circumstance there, and just a tough break for everyone involved. I know that is one of those bad circumstances you don't want to get part of, but it's definitely not the way you want to see a driver go out, especially when there's a championship on the line. There is so much at stake, and these guys know it. So while they head down into pit road here, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, more action to be had on PTRS TV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to PT Racing TV. We're still showcasing live to you tonight here the Shake and Bake Racing League iCON Sim Sports Cup Series here at Kansas Speedway here today. Definitely a whole lot of action here to place out and really fight it up with. Got our crowd roster rocking in here tonight there. First off, thank you so much for tuning in, folks, here to PT Racing TV. If you are enjoying the show so far, you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe over on our end. You certainly cannot miss any of the action here. Lights still flicker and flash there on the pace car here. Everyone trying to get fielded back in and more in line where they're supposed to be. I think they're very aware of what's going on. They're trying to make sure they don't get in any more trouble here. About 1/3 of the way here so far into this race. And you can see the 87 of Brad Ward right now trying to get the tires warmed up. You can see the damage cleaned up there on the 06 as well. You can look at the 21 of Daryl Whitford. No doubt watching family member Derek Whitford just kind of taking full control and charge here tonight at the race lead out of the gate, man. This is looking like a solid performance here. Field bringing it back to a pace, back into the run zone. Anybody's got to see who will be the one to take this one in and take this one to the advantage point. Well, a fresh set of tires and a fresh set of Goodyears to work with. This is going to definitely be more of an all-out kind of shape it to, tune it in, and get ready to fire them back up. Lining up back up down out of turn 3 and 4. Now line them off to the charge. Green flag back on out. We're back on our way at Kansas. Brandon Sheffield will make every ounce of this one count. Derek Whitford knows he's already got a few tricks up his sleeve. He's going to have to be very careful of him eyeing ever so slightly. Down across the back straightaway here, every driver for themselves, making their way into position, into the zone. The 24 of Aiden Doyle here, trying to put the Mobile One in good performance spot, trying to put a little bit of a shot or two, showcasing what he is capable of. On the outside line of Alan Wilson here, the 79 trying to stay down below, into the charge they go. Leading him back in here right at this moment. The 6'6" Nick Barassi here. You can see already that Civil Tech 6'6" giving himself a little bit more speed than I thought last time here as they shoot the gap in for a 3 wide slid, leading him off on the front straightaway. Whoa, Aiden Doyle though. Almost got himself into a big pickle there. Got right up side by side there. Trading a little paint there, maybe seeing if he could switch out some red with some green. But Barassi said, "No, sir, I don't do that around here. I just let this thing run and hold for the best." High Side Motorsports, number 79 of Alan Wilson, the third here, continuing to make the charge and make the runoff. Trying to hold back the field. That is right there with him, trying to better handed for this than tonight's action, really, to say the least. Firing him off the corners here right now. Alan Wilson's now finding himself behind the 8 ball, if you will, that proverbial cue ball. Now going to come straight in and on the attack. Maybe try to aim for a pocket shot. Gets a good run off there. Barassi gets a nice little boost of momentum as we move back up to the front though. And Brandon Sheffield once again regains the lead there from Derek Whitford, but this time he's going to have even more company as Brad Ward and Edward Kane are in this one to win it. They are both right on the neck, on the toes of each driver. The 87 looking towards the bottom, looking for a shot off the run. He's got a nice dip in there. Got a run down, speed boosting it up all the way. There they go. And man, that 44 there, Derek Whitford, man, he is giving it everything, and on the top side, trying to see if he can find a run up there, but it seems like the bottom lane maybe just a slight bit faster. We do know one thing: it is a slider corner track zone. It's not a dirt track, obviously, but that bottom, if you know how to hit it just right, you can send it straight to the bottom and just shoot it straight to the top and go for it. Whitford right now managing to stay in play, stay online. Ward doing much of the same, man. There's some serious momentum boost coming off these corners and coming off these runs. There's no way you can't tell me that these guys are trying to fight for everything they got. Brad Ward, though, man, he is just laying into the throttle rhythm. Holy smokes. I don't even know how he's really able to keep himself at play and under control that much, but, man, he's doing whatever he has to. Keeping it in play, though, and keeping it online. You look at the back here as well. We got some guys that we haven't talked about for a little bit here, and Victor Stank trying to really reek up the place and reek up the track, making everyone get out of his own way. But unfortunately for him, the 68 Fast Designs machine not able to master and outperform what the 06 of Keith Whitford's up to. Whitford doing a great job here, staying in play and staying online, and everyone else straight shooting it in. Keith Whitford right now making every run he can count, trying to do everything he's got down there. Aiden Doyle looking at straight shot it up. Andrew Griesbaum here also on the charge, on the run here, now bolstering the momentum, bolstering the run. Griesbaum trying to hang in there, trying to keep up, but you can see Aiden Doyle, man, he is just defending everything he's got down there, trying to make sure he stays out of his own way. So much at stake, obviously, for these drivers here, man. Right now, playoff contentions and hopes and dreams coming to true. They want nothing more than to basically give themselves one more opportunity, one more chance to make it to Martinsville and then make it down to Phoenix Raceway coming up ever so closely. The speeds and the garner and the momentum is certainly there. And with about a halfway point reached now, seemingly I almost can guess, and if I had to think here, it'd probably be more of the runoff show, kind of what you can do with it. Dig him down in here. Everyone's still, for the most part, keeping themselves relatively clean and refurbished. Sean Ryan there, the 39, kind of hanging back there, as well as Daniel Walker in the 5. And I think it's already kind of obvious. We've seen that 5 here in Victory Lane more times than not. And don't worry, folks. I can officially say that is not a bad term or anything like that. It does say circle jerks on the number 5 there. It's not anything bad, I swear. It's just something. It's like, top of my head, I can't even remember what it's about, but basically there is nothing wrong with it whatsoever. The car represents kind of a part of the team, kind of part of the crew, and I think kind of the business side of it as well. So please do not be alarmed by it at all. It is nothing bad, I swear on my grave. Kevin Whitford here, one of the other Whitford boys right now. Well, he started way back in the pack, started 16th up one spot here. Lawrence Shanesi, though. Boy, what a turnaround for him. got sent to the shadow realm, if you will. He got so far back, man, you would have thought he was just trying to hang in there with the rest of them, but that seems not to be the case. As another slider is thrown here, the number 10 of Edward Kane, man, I don't even know how you can just get that runoff on the bottom and then send it straight to the top side like that as smooth as they do, but yet they somehow do it without any trouble and with ease. Brad Ward was doing it a little bit earlier on, making his way around a few of the guys there, but Nick Barassi looks like he wants to join in on the party. He says it's a slider fest. Let's have some fun. Edward Kane right now, man, he's giving himself plenty of room, plenty of opportunities to strike it hard, strike it big. Pretty much has been very under control and very smooth in the rhythm. Just trying to watch himself, trying to watch everything in between, never give himself any trouble there. The Lorco 87 Ford Mustang coming up for the Reinders, through up to the grips here. As the rest of the field kind of makes their way back in between. Derek Whitford kind of falling back behind a little bit. Maybe trying to save the tires up. Maybe trying to stay out of trouble for the most part. Could be a very smart strategy. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just by judging what he's doing here. We've seen this before though, where some guys will fall back behind for a while. But that's because they're trying to like kind of snooker in, kind of ease the other drivers into a little false sense of security. And then when the time comes and it goes to make it for the break it, they just literally let it rip and have at it. Nothing to worry about there. Seemingly in an opportune spot here. The number 81 there, Jaden Hopp, looking to build up some speed and looking to trade some pain if he can get up there again. He certainly is one of those guys that can do it if he can bull it up there. And right now he's already approaching fast there on the 79. Allen trying to defend him off, but again, if you go to the bottom, you know what's coming next. Throw the slider, throw it up from the bottom to the top. But no go though. Has to work a little harder for this one. Says, well, I work a little harder. That's okay. I can do that. We'll send it down one more time through 1 and 2. And boy, look at that 79, man. He is just defending everything he can up there. He's not giving Hop any room or any chances to strike on that top, from that bottom to the top. He's being ever so smart. He's trying to defend off the run, trying to defend himself in the right place at the right time. That's exactly what you need to do, is just watch for yourself and watch for your momentum to kick in. There are so many areas that can make you get into trouble and get you into a problematic zone. Aiden Doyle, the mobile 124, now moving ahead, moving through the charge here with the 78 of Andrew Griesbaum. Tries to get back up to him there. The Purina Cat Chow there, trying to maybe a little run off or two. The Purina Pet Food, of course, never too far behind on the sponsored list there. Obviously, it's good to see those cars flying back out here. Griesbaum now moving up the chains, moving up the ladder here, looking for an opening. Oh my, and Aiden Doyle actually just found the chains. He found a whole set of a wall protection there, smacks the right side in, does it again, coming off of turn 2, brings it a little bit closer than I think he wants to with Griesbaum there. Somehow, someway manages to hang on to that spot. I don't know how he was able to do it considering where he was at in position, but man, he found himself in a bit of a pickle, found himself in a bad spot and managed to work his way around it. That's the true telling of a driver, is when you're able to get yourself into a troublesome area and get out of it quickly. Did a great job there and did a great work there, holding the line in and holding himself accountability. But now can he keep doing it for just a few more laps here? Because now the 78 is still looking to maintain a rhythm off and a push here. He's picking a rhythm off and pushing here. Looks like the 10 of Edward Kane is now looking to push his way up to the front. The laps are starting to wear thin, and Brandon Sheffield knows that all too well. Look at the lap time here. Kane is getting the better of him and is getting more and more fast by the second. Sheffield, though, is starting to take a little bit of notice or take full aware of this situation. We'll see if the 96 has anything to say here on this lap. Might have been a bit of a game changer. Know where he's at, and I think he was honestly kind of paying close attention to that relative. I know his spotter was definitely talking to him about it. Hearing in right now what they're speaking. I think they're pretty much kind of trying to keep each other in play and trying to keep each other away from making any solid mistakes here, and but they're really looking for any kind of opening, any kind of struggles to stay out of. Yes, there is no line around here that says you can't go below the white line here. You can race wherever you feel like, really, as long as you got asphalt and turf, and it's not turf to it. I think you're pretty much in good hands. I believe that is a code of conduct around these parts. Jaden Hobb now looks like he was having some troubles earlier on throwing sliders at 79. He throws a huge one. No, had Derek Whitford. Holy smokes! Whitford had no idea that was coming. I feel like he was having to stay on the throttle trying to back her down. Oh, he's gonna throw one right down at Hobbs though. See him driving up slightly there. He was looking for the opportunity to take it away from him. It did not work out the way he was hoping for. Man, who says that you can't learn anything from dirt on asphalt? That is impressive. Oh, but Hop's not going to find the same success this time. Smashes it out. It's earned 1 and 2. And the 79 unfortunately gets caught in the mix of this. Wilson not able to get out of that. Hop might have just cost himself and his run there. That was a huge bad break there and a big mistake in my opinion, knowing where he was at and what was going on. I didn't think he thought about that too much. I think he was more focused on just trying to keep the car centered and in play. But watch this. He overdrove it slightly, gets already loose. And look at Wilson, man. Talk about saving that thing on a dime. Great save by him there, and a great move by Hop to back out of it what he did, but unfortunately it might have costed him more than he realizes. Moving back up the chains here, Edward Kane is your new leader here. Brad Ward trying to catch up with him still. And with about 40 laps remaining now, this becomes kind of a shotgun kind of maneuver here. Kind of a little bit of a speed booster too. However, Kane, man, he's still looking for that first win of his season. Come so far yet so quick and so many times. Still hasn't yet to pick up the one, though, that he's looking for. it looks like he might be kind of a little more at bay and a little more at ease with himself here, knowing that he's got a pretty good lead on the rest of the field here. Some drivers having to head into pit road, a little smoke coming out of them, trying to get them to stop on a dime there, coming off into the entry. It's very tricky down there. You got to really watch it. You can't get too ramped up over there, but at the same time, you can't just give too much up to him. You got to really kind of find a half a median there. Easier said than done, I know that much. And you see the 66 now, he'll slow it down here and find himself a little bit more run down. Give himself a little bit of breathing room and give himself a little bit of a corner in. And Edward Kane goes into pit road as well, so Brad Ward the only one that stays on out for now anyway. And this is interesting to me because, again, you know, he's kind of playing on thin ice here because he's going to have to try to do a long run setup. He's trying to do a long run race. But, I mean, again, if you got a guy that's kind of starting to build up speed and kind of build up more momentum, it can really hurt your chances for later on. Drivers are slowing down to a T here, so we'll go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break. When we come back, more action to be had here down at Kansas Speedway. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here now on PT Race TV, still the showcase of Shake and Bake Racing League, iCON Sim Sports and their Cup Series division here at Kansas Speedway down here in Kansas City, Kansas right now as we continue to master the D-shaped tri-oval design of Kansas Speedway, or the cookie cutter style tracks as like folks like to refer to them as. So far ahead, it's pretty much been either Sheffield, Kane, or Wartshaw with occasionally a little bit of a run around there from Whitford, but for Derek Whitford right now, being a lap down, he's kind of in a bad spot here and not in the place he wants to be in. Pacing the way around the track here, though. You see the 44 there. Whitford trying to get his lap back, trying to get back into some. Oh no, they're getting a little close together. Oh man, Wilson backs off. Beautifully done there. That could have been dangerous there. We saw earlier on where you got at Richmond, if you got a little bit too close like that, you can end up sending your car spinning straight into the infield and into someone else. They kept it clear there and out of trouble. Good move on them and good driving on their half to stay within their realm of their reaches and around the zone. You can just see how hard these guys race there time and time again, man. They're just pushing everything to their limits, seeing what they can do. They have no troubles really, in my opinion, just kind of, they may have a little bit of a gripe or two, but it just really just goes to show you that, you know, if you got the heart of a driver and you got the heart of a racer, they will pour on everything they got and they will give it everything they have to on this track and really showcase what they're on and what they're working for. But at the same time, they still somehow, like, off the track, keep it professional and keep it real with one another. And that's one of the biggest things that Shake and Bake and Pedal the Metal Racing League has always had. You know, but for that, obviously, we're watching Shake and Bake Racing League go at it. You know, what we watched earlier on Pedal the Metal, and we watched earlier as well with Joe Sixpack. And again, all those leagues, what they have in the most common is that they're willing to just keep their speed and drive alive, but at the same time, they're never going to give out just a bad situation or a bad spot. You know, no matter how passionate we may get on these broadcasts or anything like that with these guys and drivers, they always are at the end of the day our friends and our family. You know, because we are fellow sim racers, and yeah, it gets kind of difficult to really kind of keep your, you know, your bias out of the way, because you want to see them succeed. You want to see them really perform to the level you know them how to do. And they certainly can do it, and they will do it when when they are capable of really performing, and that's exactly what we've been getting today. We've gotten a lot of it, in my opinion, and a lot more really is on the way. Remember, we are going to showcase the last couple races of the Shake and Bake Racing League, so if you aren't tuned in and subscribed on YouTube already, you might want to start doing it. You'll see all the action and then some here on PT Racing TV when we go live, and it'll be exclusively live on YouTube. We will send this over to Facebook afterwards, but let's be honest, there is nothing like being live in prime time. Hammering down the throttle here. Everyone trying to find their run, trying to find their momentum to build up here. Still plenty of obligations and time left to be had. Certainly could be a bit of a challenge for others out here. As you see that little speed of spark coming there from Alan Wilson, you can see him hammering down to the corner lots harder than anything else. Trying to make his way down on the bottom lane while Andrew Griesbaum tries to hold him off. Griesbaum, man, he is doing a tremendous job hanging in there, still firing off on the corner zones into the run. And look at this now, a little crossover between there. Allen making a good move off Andrew, but Andrew was very kind and collective here. He manages to stay somewhat under control here as the 44 Derek Whitford sends it on down as well. Man, these guys are just going to be throwing them all the way back and forth. That is what Kansas is all about here. This isn't a one-line track. This is a multi-group track. It allows for multiple angles and multiple ways to play. And you're seeing that and then some here with these drivers. And that, to me, is kind of the resting case of just what can go down and what can be thrown onto the track and onto the race if you can do it just right. Field up front kind of stretched out slightly here. Sheffield about 2.3 seconds ahead there of Edward Kane. Meanwhile, Brad Ward about 2 seconds back of Kane, still trying to hammer up to him. Aiden Doyle, as you've seen earlier, is currently holding the line down for the field. Meanwhile, up front, a little bit of a little bit of position change into the back zone from the top 10. Daniel Walker trying to get up there with the 9 of Lawrence Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy Jr., though, doing a great job on the bottom lane. Again, you can just see those bottom, it does shred the tires up a little more. Trying to run the extreme bottom and then go back up top side, because again, you're going two angles, two different ways, so around the turn, and the way tires react to that definitely get tore up a little more work than they are for this case. Managing to take shape and take aim, though, David Shipley. Looks like he might have a little runoff or two here coming up there for that number 9. Lawrence trying to make sure he gives himself some breathing room, some time to strike. And the 85 of Shipley now falls back once again. But again, even though he is in that playoff contention, he's got one more race to go before I would even start really worrying or get a little bit fearsome out there. I think he knows that all too well as well, man. I think that's what he's trying to keep an eye on is Daniel Walker. Boy, he took a big smack of that wall protection there. It looked like the same thing that happened to the 5 earlier. Dave Shipley right now moving up closer to the field, up closer in the pack zone. We go on board here with the 85. Daniel Walker, though, the number 5, currently maintaining grip, maintaining balance on the track and on the zone. Back on board here, Brad Ward here, and again, you can just see, like I said, there's not a whole lot going on up front because again, these guys keep battling so hard in the back. We're trying to kind of cover everything we can on the track, but you can see distances is key and really changing the game plan up for many of these drivers. Griesbaum right now making everything can count. Meanwhile, you can see Nick Barassi, his pit strategy may have fallen futile once again, unfortunately, with only 18 laps to go. I don't see him getting that lap back in this case. I think he's kind of found himself in the bad spot and a bad omen, if you will. And what a tough break that is for him, because we saw him earlier on. He was doing a tremendous job making it work out there with these guys and making it work up there with the whole field. But unfortunately, the tires just did not do what he wanted. The fuel run did not go the way he planned it out. You know, it's kind of funny, though, because some of these playoff drivers, they are not doing as well as some of the other guys are here tonight. They've been kind of more lenient, kind of staying back behind the 8-ball, if you will. I'm not really sure if that's a strategy thing or maybe they just weren't too sure how they wanted to play it out tonight, but one thing I can certainly say is it's not really probably the best idea to put Martinsville in your hands, considering we know what Martinsville likes to do to drivers and tracks around here. There's a reason why they call it the toughest track to win on for the short tracks. That is, it can provide the most amazing races, but at the same time, it can provide maybe the most heartbreaking of races, and it's just kind of stuck right on that spot that everybody knows you have to work your tail end off to win with. 15 laps remain here for Sheffield. Sheffield doing a tremendous job here, keeping the distance and keeping the momentum alive. He's still got about a 2nd and a 10th ahead of Edward Kane, a little bit less than they had earlier on, as he has to weasel his way through lap traffic. You can see the 06 of Keith Whitford playing it safe, playing it smart. That's what you got to do. The 87 of Brad Ward looked like maybe it's time to stop hanging around here and start building up some speed. Oh, he's got a lot of speed coming. Edward Kane was getting caught up pretty quickly here. Ward might be slowing down a slight bit, though. If he can get that draft back on him here, he might have a shot here. He drove it pretty hard into that corner there. I don't know, maybe that hurt him or helped him or at all, but it certainly did not do him any justice. Sheffield kind of getting put into a bit of a bad angle, bad area there. The 10 of Edward Kane now moving quicker and ahead of this position. He's starting to close it off by about a 1/7 of a 10th second, now to 1/6 of a 10th. Looks like he's got it coming. Sheffield knows it. Oh, but that was not the spot you wanted to hit it off there. Kane getting smack dab on the wall slows him down by about a 1/4 of a 100th of a second. Lost a lot of time there. You don't try to wall bang around here like it's a video game, sir. This is not how sim racing works, sir. And that might have been what Sheffield was hoping for and needed the break of. Kane just simply could not keep the car online, keep it at bay, and that really hurt his chances. The only thing he has left for him is possibly lap traffic getting in the way of 75 of Bill Matthews. A little bit of a retro scheme car out there here tonight. Having to stay up top, stay out of the way of Sheffield. Sheffield goes to the bottom with 10 laps to go. Sheffield now is making headways, making some corners off, some runs in between. You can see the rest of the field pretty much in between, undecisive on what happens next. But we do know one thing. There is one battle still going on down there between these drivers. And that is this war going on between Victor Stank and the 24 of Aiden Doyle. Victor, man, he is just marching to the beat of his own drum, starting to trying to wreak out the field and wreak havoc amongst everyone else. Meanwhile, Edward Kane and Brad Ward will go at it here for that second place spot. Obviously, the championship hopes are they're off the line, but the points wise for the final of the 5, that certainly does mean a lot to them, and they want it all so much. Brad is now looking to make way. Kane, though, trying to block him out of it. Team points on the line, points also on the line individually. Here you can see Ward going back to the bottom here. Kane trying to hang on. He's looking for everything he got, but that runoff on the top side is not helping him. Ward throws it hard off the run on the bottom. Oh, but Kane saw it coming. He guys it in just as deep and just as quick. That gave him a lot of leeway, a lot of bit of an opening here to block Ward's speed and block his momentum. Got to be careful about that, though. You can't overdo it too much. Otherwise, eventually, it will come back to haunt you. Another runoff from Ward. Will he get it this time? Next time by, they will have only 5 laps remaining to finish this out. Lordco looking to get it everything he can. The Edward Kane 10, though, man, they are still neck and neck. This is an absolute duel up front for the battle for the second place spot. 5 to remain. By the way, that would have been a close 100 of a second finish between Kane and Ward. And Ward finally gets an opening and gets a runoff. Charges ahead and gets himself into the playing field. But does he have time? Does he have enough time to really take full advantage of this one, take full strength into the position? He had a good run off there into the corner and off the battle zone, but again, he's still in no man's land if he doesn't get it to go anymore. Brad Ward right now knows his championship race is all but, or his race win is all but over with. He can't catch up there to Sheffield, but the good news is for him is he can still have a little bit of a fight out there with Kane. Meanwhile, Sheffield, for him, he's just pretty much kind of laying in sight and keeping himself out of trouble. The 96 has been dead smart all day long on keeping himself in the playing field, into the zone, and he's been doing that all for quite the time here. Alan Wilson and Andrew Griesbaum, maybe the last of the battles here to come forth here. Griesbaum trying to make a maneuver off. Wilson backs it bottom line, tries to defend Griesbaum from trying to throw the haymaker. Manages to make it stick, make it hold off. Oh, but Griesbaum goes back down in. 2 laps to go here with the green flag flying high in the air. This is a war zone right now for that 4th place position. Somebody's got to give it inch. Somebody's got to give a break. Oh my, they almost took it for a ride out of turn 4. Oh boy, this one could have been a bad situation between either one of them. They could have been found. They could have been found in a rubbish area and a rubbish shot. Griesbaum now has a one-off here as we go to the white flag. Sheffield with the advantage. Sheffield has all but locked this one up and locked this race in his momentum in his course. He just needs to finish this race out. A second and 7/10 ahead of Brad Ward and Edward Kane. And a star-studded field ends up falling futile. The caution laps came at the wrong time for some, whereas others that came just in the nick of time. Sheffield will win at Kansas. Second goes to Brad Ward. Third, Edward Kane. Fourth. Well, it's going to be a little bit of a battle between Wilson and Griesbaum. Griesbaum trying one last-ditch effort to charge him up. Looking for a run out there. Oh, he smacks the wall protection going into the grassy plain. Saves it for a top 5, but Alan Wilson will win it. Will get himself a 4th place spot finish, but your race winner at Kansas is going to be Brandon Sheffield in the number 96 machine. And holy smokes, folks, what a day it has been for him and the crew. Looking to celebrate the only way he knows how to. Now that, my friends, is a burnout if I ever saw one. That is a good one. It's not as spinny or as flippy, but I mean at the same time, neither is a W. It doesn't need to all be like the WWE these days. Okay, that was a bad joke. Let's just get to the results. iCON Sim Sports results now pop up on your screen. Brandon Sheffield wins this one out. Second goes to Brad Ward. Third to Edward Kane. Fourth to Alan Wilson. The third. Fifth to Andrew Griesbaum. Sixth to Victor Stank. Yeah, we got you guys. We got you. Yeah, we got you guys. We'll talk to you in a minute. 6 going to Victor Stank. 7 to Aiden Doyle. 8 to Lauren Schnessy. 9 to David Shively. And then 10 to Sean Ryan rounds out the top 10. Rest of the finishers up on your screen. You guys hear them a little bit chatty down there. They're ready to come talk with you fans here and listen in. So we'll talk now with the number 10 here. Ladies and gentlemen, Edward Kane joins us in the booth here. And Edward, I know, man, that was pretty much a hard-fought battle between you and Ward to the very end. But Brad just managing to find one little battle off and get you ahead there, sir. Edward, you got a copy? Hold on, folks. I think they may not be able to hear me. Edward, you got a copy? Oh, what's going on? I can't get anybody to hear in. Does anybody hear me?
I can hear you, buddy.
Oh, all right, there we go. Edward, you good, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right, did you hear anything I said, or you need to refresh?
Refresh. I didn't hear a word. Sorry, buddy.
All right, so nevertheless, finishing out third here tonight. Kansas had a little bit of a last-minute duel and fight to the end with the last 5 or 6 laps there with Ward, and he certainly put up a number on you and tried to find every which way around you, but you just couldn't give it up until that last bit. Then he finally found a way to actually sneak off the bottom and take it away from you. What happened to that final corner, turn 1?
That whole last run, I was catching Brandon and Brad was catching me the whole time, and I think I just heated up my tires a little too much. And Brad's a hell of a driver, and he just got me near the end, and it got to the point I was getting real tight off too, and at some point, you could either me and Brad try and wreck each other for second and third, or just give it up and fight another day, and that's what I did. And shout out to Brandon and Brad, my teammates. 1, 2, 3 finish. What else can you say? It was a great run, and I'll take it and go on to the next track.
Absolutely, indeed. Here, obviously, the next track coming up, I believe, is the Martinsville Speedway, isn't it not?
I believe so, for the guys running for the championship. Yep.
Well, it's going to be a wild one. It's going to be a crazy one, to say the least. But nevertheless, sir, walking away here third, is there anybody you want to thank here for this one?
Sure. I'll thank Brody because he bowed out on the last second tonight, so it was kind of my last-minute sub coming in here again. And, of course, thanks all the guys over at GDR, Brad, Brandon, 1, 2, 3 finish. Nick was doing well there. He had a little bit of a snafu on pit road last night, but we were all running well. We threw some major changes at this car in the last second, and it worked out really, really well. And, shout out to my sponsor, which is myself. I'm a CPA, so, tax season's coming, boys. Remember me when you're filing your W-2s. And other than that, I got nothing else to say, and have a good night, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Good to hear from you, Edward King. Congratulations on third place finish, sir. Great race into the very end, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Edward Kane, the number 10. And you heard that right. I think you might need to get ready. Tax season's coming up, so be sure to get in touch with him. But, well, another we'll get in touch with now is Brad Ward there in that number 87. And Brad, talk about Mad Brad out there. You just completely dominated that last bit. Looked like you had something for Sheffield, but the battle there you had to deal with Kane just kind of slowed you up too much. Really, do you feel like you had anything if you had just a little more time, or what was it down there for you?
Yeah, a little more time could have helped. I don't know. Brandon was really good all night. I definitely think the fastest car won. Just had the fresher tires there at the end, so I think that helped in the mad dash to the end there. But yeah, it was a good night.
Certainly was indeed, and I know a lot at stake. Obviously, the playoff drivers having a little bit of a points day and having also a little chance to possibly make their way in past just Martinsville and them. But nevertheless, here still a strong showing for you and your crew and your team. Is there anybody you want to thank you for this one here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely got to thank Brandon and Ed as well as Nick. Like Ed was saying, we threw a bunch of changes at this car in practice before the race, and they all stuck. So we worked really good at the in the practice there, and yeah, so I got to thank them and Lord Auto Parts as well. So
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, so sir, coming away second place here tonight. Congratulations on that. And it is certainly good to see you back on the podium here. We certainly hope to see you next week on out.
yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Ward coming away second. And now finally joining me here for Victory Lane, celebrating here at the top of the mountain at Vanza Speedway. Here is Brandon Sheffield. And oh boy, man, I really don't know how the heck you kept that car in such rhythm and control the entire time. But from really the start to beginning to the end, you really were up there to the spot. And you were up there when you needed to.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kansas. Best track on the service for sure. And it's I ran B Open last night, and this tonight was exactly the opposite of that. Where last night we were running the bottom in 1 and 2 and the top in 3 and 4. Here it was you had to run the top in 1 and 2 and the bottom in 3 and 4 to be good. And I love running up by the wall. I think that's a lot of fun. And I was just cruising there for the most part until I caught the wall getting into one late in that second run, and it basically torched the whole right side of the car. So then I had to pit early, use the fast repair, fix the car, put the tires on it, knowing that eventually it would equalize out. I was hoping it would equalize before Ed and Brad got to me, but then it was just that last run, go as hard as I possibly could, and just watching the relative as they got closer and closer and closer. So happy it worked out for me, and it was a good run all night for all of our guys.
It was a great night, obviously. I know that's W meant a lot here. Obviously, getting a win at Kansas means more to anything. But I got to ask you, man, as you prepare to go to war down in Martinsville next week, who got you here to Victory Lane here at Kansas?
Yeah, I mean, I got to thank the GDR boys, just like the other two did. Obviously, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4 until Nick had his little issue. But great night for our guys, and of course, I got to thank the guys I'm subbing for. So that's the Swamp Fox boys, Aiden and company. Got to thank the Shake and Bake Racing League. Those guys, love coming over here and racing with them. And got to thank you for putting the broadcast on.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to put it on. Good to see you here once more. Congratulations on your race win, Brandon. Great to see you back in Victory Lane, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Sheffield here, your victor here at Kansas Speedway, and that'll all but wrap it up here tonight for your showcase. A big thank you again to iCON Sim Sports here for your support and showcase here. If you guys need to get yourself some new rigs and stuff up, definitely visit them up at iconsimsports.com. Thank you again, everybody that tuned on into tonight, and we certainly hope we'll see you next time when the green flag flies.